Hey YouTube, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about my streaming PC. Let's not waste any time and get right into it. Alright, so for today, we're just going to talk about the parts of my streaming PC, why I chose those parts, and what else I do with the computer. It's not strictly just a streaming PC, so I have some things that could be of benefit for any of you looking to do more than stream with a second PC. So we'll go over to my PC part picker list and check out all the parts. All right, so starting off in the list, we'll the AMD Ryzen 9 5900X 12-core processor. Obviously, I got this processor because it can handle big workloads. I not only stream on my streaming PC, but I also edit videos, make these videos, and do some other things. And we'll get into that in just a minute. The CPU cooler is the Noctua NH-D15 82.5 CFM CPU cooler. It's a $100 cooler, and it's a fan air cooler, not an AIO, because of reliability reasons. I wanted to buy a CPU cooler that would basically I wouldn't really have to worry about. I mean, if the fans die, that's one thing, but the likelihood of a fan going out compared to the likelihood of your pump on your AIO going out is a lot less likely to happen. The next piece is the motherboard, and that is the Gigabyte X570 Aorus Pro Wi-Fi ATX AM4 motherboard. This is actually the same motherboard and CPU combo that I use for my gaming rig. And it was just a bang for the buck good motherboard and comes with Wi-Fi, which is a benefit in case I need it. For memory, we have the G.Skill Trident Z Neo 16 gigabyte DDR4 3600 megahertz CL16 memory. So I have two of these on here because they're 2 by 8 gigabytes, so totals 32 gigs of memory. For editing videos and things, wanted a little bit more memory, wanted to run at the best speeds, and it just fit the bill. And at the time of purchasing these, I did not pay this $139.99 price you're seeing. I think I paid $110 per kit, if I remember correctly. So that's why I bought these, just because their speed, the size, and the price was good. Next, we're going to go over the storage. We'll talk about first which I think you're all paying attention to right now, are the 3 Western Digital Red hard drives that I have in here. This is where we start to talk about the other things that I do with my streaming rig. So the 8 terabyte and 2 10 terabyte hard drives, these are hard drives that I use for movies and TV shows that I own. This rig is not only a streaming PC, but it is also my Plex media center. So throughout the house, all of our TVs have Plex. I have a Plex account, a paid for Plex account, and we stream all of my movies throughout all the TVs on the house. We have different accounts on our, each person has not an account, but a user on Plex, and I just feed the libraries that the person wants to those users. And so for instance, I have my account, my wife's account, and our kid's account. So on our kid, she just has basically a bunch of cartoons, and that's all she has access to. But anyways, so that's why the big hard drives, also some extra space for me to record things like this and record gameplay, things like that. Western Digital SN750 500 gigabyte M.2 drive, the PCI 3.0. My motherboard is PCIe Gen 4, so I could get one of those, but this is just one I had, and it's specifically for booting up Windows and launching a few programs, and that's about it. Then we've got the EVGA GeForce RTX 2070 Super 8 gigabyte XC Ultra Gaming Video Card. I got this this actually used to be in my gaming rig until I upgraded to a 3090. So when I upgraded that one, 2070 just went into this rig. Thermaltake Core V71 TG ATX full tower case. So this case is one in particular that it was the best for the money and for what I needed it for. And what I needed it for was to hold multiple hard drives. So there's this giant hard drive case on the front end, which you can kind of see in the little picture. If you were to go to the link on my PC part picker, which will be linked down below, you'll be able to see all the specifics of it. But basically it's big. It holds 8 hard drives, and it's got 2 giant fans in the front, and a big fan at the top and a little fan in the back. So 2 big intakes, 1 big outtake and 1 little outtake. So the airflow is pretty good. And then I got that beefy cooler by Noctua on there for the CPU. And this thing works perfectly for what I need it for. Storing multiple hard drives, because I have tons of movies and tons of TV shows. So I'm going to end up expanding those 10 terabytes into even more 10 terabyte hard drives. And so that's why I went with this case, and why I would suggest considering something like it when you're looking, if you want to do more than just streaming. If all you're doing is streaming, you don't need something like this. It doesn't require a lot to stream video games, so keep that in mind. Power supply, EVGA G1 Plus 1000 watt 80 plus gold certified fully modular ATX power supply. I actually bought this for $200 right before we had a shortage of the 1000 watters. And I basically bought it because I heard we were going to have a shortage of them. I saw the deal and I figured I can always use it and have headroom if I continue to upgrade the computer for other things. Optical drive. Now remember, I said this is a Plex machine. So I use it to convert all of my movies as well. Movies and TV shows. So this LG WH16 NS40 Blu-ray DVD CD writer, I got this specifically for this computer because there's a way to backdate the firmware to its original form. And when you do that, this Blu-ray drive is actually capable of reading 4K discs. And what you would do is basically just make a copy of the disc in its entirety, using specific software, and then turn that file into like an MP4 or something that's good for Plex. So that's why I got this one, because it is capable of reading 4K. And then your AOC monitor, 25-inch monitor, 1920 by 1080, 144 hertz monitor. As monitors go, it's a great monitor for $200. Basically what it boils down to. All right, guys, so that's it for the streaming PC. Like I said, I use it for streaming and for Plex. And it's very important that I bought the computer parts the way I did, because when I say I use it for Plex, it's not just for like streaming in the house, right? It'll transcode several streams without a hiccup outside the house as well. Another thing is that I use the computer to rip and convert the videos, right? So in the future, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, ring the bell, all that jazz, because you'll want to get notified for future videos that I make about the programs I use to rip the discs, to convert that file into an MP4, what settings I use to get the best quality, all that jazz. And I'll even go over the programs I use for streaming and all that stuff as well. So we'll probably end up making 2 or 3 videos about the programs I use and how I use them. So please get subscribed, make sure that you're notified so that when those videos go live, you get the information on how to do that.